With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Nicole Byer, helping you make those rooms flyer. Today's style tip, when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild! Like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Ooh, fierce! This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You know, every year around this time I find myself slowing down. Not just because of the season or the holidays or the pastel colors popping up in every store window, but because something about Easter. It just makes me pause. It's like the world whispers. It's time to reflect. It's time to remember. Do you feel that too?
Absolutely. There's something sacred about this season, isn't there? It goes deeper than the chocolate eggs and bright baskets. It's the story behind it all. The real meaning of Easter. I think about sacrifice, about hope, and about new beginnings.
Yes, new beginnings. That's what gets me every time. Whether you grew up in church or not, whether you celebrate Easter religiously or not, I think the core message touches everyone. That after hardship comes healing. That after the darkest night comes light. That love, real love, can't be buried. It rises again.
Well said. For me, Easter is deeply personal. It reminds me of my roots. Growing up, my grandmother would wake us up before sunrise on Easter Sunday, dress us in our best clothes, and walk us to sunrise service. It didn't matter if it was cold or raining, we were going. And she'd say, "Because he got up early, we can too." That line stuck with me. It made me realize Easter is not just a date. It's a declaration.
That gave me chills. And I get it. For my family, Easter was also about community. I remember we'd spend all week preparing, dyeing eggs on Thursday, rehearsing poems for Sunday's program, baking pound cakes and sweet rolls. But it wasn't just tradition. There was always this sense that we were celebrating something real. A risen Savior. A love that overcame death.
That's the heart of Easter, isn't it? The resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's the core of the Christian faith. It's the moment everything changed, for history, for humanity, for eternity. And even for those who might not know the full story, there's power in hearing it.
So let's tell it. Let's walk through the story again like it's the first time. For us, for them, for anyone who needs a little hope today.
I'm with you. Let's go back.
Let's begin where the sorrow starts, with the cross. It's impossible to talk about Easter without first talking about Good Friday. Because before there was resurrection, there was death. Painful, public, undeserved. The Son of God, nailed to a cross between two criminals.
It's hard to imagine, right? The same Jesus who healed the blind, walked on water, fed thousands. He was betrayed, beaten, mocked, crowned with thorns. And for what? For loving too well? For challenging power with truth? For fulfilling a prophecy no one fully understood yet?
And it wasn't just a physical death. It was spiritual, emotional, relational. His disciples scattered. His friends denied him. The sky grew dark. And even Jesus cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" That part always hits me because it reminds me he felt what we feel. Abandonment, fear, grief.
Yes, and yet, in that moment, he was still carrying love, still thinking of others. He forgave those who hurt him. He told the thief next to him, "Today you'll be with me in paradise." He looked down at his mother and made sure she'd be cared for. That kind of heart, that kind of mercy, that's divine.
Then came silence. Jesus gave up his spirit. And the earth trembled. The veil in the temple tore in two. A Roman soldier stood there and said, "Truly this was the Son of God." Even the enemy recognized what had just happened.
His body was taken down and laid in a borrowed tomb. And just like that, hope seemed gone. His followers hid. His enemies celebrated. And for 3 days, the world waited.
But that third morning, that third morning changed everything. Women, the very ones overlooked in that time, were the first to witness the miracle. They came to the tomb and found it empty. An angel said, "He is not here. He is risen just as he said."
And from there, the news spread like fire. Jesus was alive. He began appearing, first to Mary Magdalene, then to the disciples, then to over 500 people. Not a ghost, not a vision, but alive, eating, walking, teaching.
That's what stirs me. The resurrection wasn't just spiritual. It was physical, real. Flesh and blood. He defeated death in every form. That stone rolled away wasn't just for him. It was for all of us. Every doubt, every fear, every failure rolled away.
And that's the core of Easter. Not just that Jesus rose, but what it means for us, that love wins. That death doesn't have the final word. That no matter how dark Friday feels, Sunday is coming.
Phew, you said that. And we need that message now more than ever. With everything going on in the world, pain, war, division, loss, we need the reminder that there's still life after loss. Still light after darkness.
Still joy after mourning. Still peace in the storm. And that's why Easter matters. It's not just a story from the past. It's a lifeline in the present.
That makes me think. How do we carry that message forward? How do we live in resurrection power, not just celebrate it once a year?
Maybe it starts by remembering who we are. Easter is proof that we are loved, chosen, redeemed. It's not about being perfect. It's about being made new.
Amen. And maybe it also means loving people the way Jesus did. Forgiving freely. Serving selflessly. Being a light even when we feel surrounded by darkness.
That's powerful. Because the resurrection didn't just change Jesus' story. It's supposed to change ours. It gives us courage to rise again after failure, after heartbreak, after tragedy.
Yes. Because if he could rise from death, we can rise from anything.
That's the hope of Easter. And that's worth talking about, worth living for, worth celebrating.
Let's begin where the sorrow starts, with the cross. It's impossible to talk about Easter without first talking about Good Friday. Because before there was resurrection, there was death. Painful, public, undeserved. The Son of God, nailed to a cross between two criminals. Beyond the powerful message of resurrection, I've always loved the way Easter brings people together. Through tradition. Whether it's a sunrise service, a church choir belting out "He lives," or a table full of food, Easter has this way of uniting hearts.
Definitely. In my family, it was always about community. We'd all pack into my auntie's little house after church. Cousins running around in itchy dress clothes, people laughing in the kitchen, sweet tea flowing like water. Somebody would always burn the mac and cheese a little, but nobody cared. It was love.
Ours was similar. We had the big Easter egg hunt after dinner. My dad would hide a golden egg somewhere crazy, like up in the tree or behind the grill, and whoever found it would get $20. You'd think we were searching for treasure, but really it was about the laughter and the memories.
It's amazing how those simple traditions stick with you. And it's not just in the U.S. Easter is celebrated in so many ways all over the world. Like in the Philippines, they have a pre-dawn ritual called Salubong, where two processions meet, one with a statue of the risen Christ and the other with Mary. When they meet, it symbolizes joy and reunion. It's so beautiful.
I love that. In Ethiopia, Easter or Fasika is actually considered more important than Christmas. People fast for 55 days beforehand. Then on Easter Sunday, they break the fast with a huge feast. The commitment behind it really makes you think.
It does. Then there's Greece. On Holy Saturday, they light candles at midnight and proclaim Christos Anesti, which means Christ is risen, and they crack red eggs together, symbolizing the blood of Christ and the new life of the resurrection.
All of it points back to that one moment, the empty tomb. No matter the culture or the language, Easter is a global echo of hope.
Exactly. And while each place may celebrate differently, with lamb or ham, sunrise or midnight, gospel or incense, the heart of it remains the same, a celebration of life defeating death. And that unity is something we could all use more of.
Sometimes I think the traditions are just vehicles for the bigger message. Like, painting eggs might seem like just a fun kid's activity, but when you stop and reflect, even that can symbolize rebirth. Cracking open something beautiful. Letting color pour out of what once seemed ordinary.
That's deep. And it makes me think about how important it is to keep those traditions alive. Not just for nostalgia's sake, but to pass down meaning, to tell the next generation, this is why we celebrate. This is who we are.
Yes. That's why even though life gets busy, I still make sure to cook something for Easter. I still play gospel music while getting dressed. I still call my grandma and talk about that Sunday when she danced in the aisle at church because the choir sang her favorite hymn. These little acts, they anchor us.
That's real. And even if someone doesn't go to church or doesn't have a big family gathering, Easter can still be meaningful. It can be personal, a time to reflect, to reset, to reconnect with God and yourself.
Or even just to pause, to breathe, to ask, what needs to rise in my life? What needs to roll away?
Phew, that's a powerful question. Because maybe Easter isn't just a moment. Maybe it's an invitation to new purpose, new vision, new love.
Yes. And maybe it's a challenge to not get stuck in Friday, to not live in the tomb, but to walk forward, even when we're scared, into the morning light of resurrection.
That morning light, that's where faith begins. And for me, every Easter, I recommit, not because I'm perfect, but because I know He is. And He's patient with me, even when I fall.
Same here. I think that's what keeps us coming back every year. Not out of obligation, but out of awe. Easter reminds us. Grace still flows. Hope still wins. And love. Love never fails. You know what's wild? Every time I reflect on Easter, I start thinking not just about the resurrection of Jesus, but about the things in me that need resurrecting, like joy I lost, or peace I forgot how to hold, or dreams I buried a long time ago because life got too heavy.
I feel that, and I think that's where Easter really hits home. It's not just about a man rising from a grave 2,000 years ago. It's about us getting up every time life knocks us down, every time fear tells us to stay in that dark place, every time the world whispers, "You'll never make it back."
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey there, welcome to Good Advice Giver. First, we want to start by saying a massive thank you for tuning in today. Whether you're a long-time listener or you're joining us for the first time, we're truly grateful to have you here. We know you've got a lot of options when it comes to podcasts, so the fact that you're spending your time with us means the world. So thank you.
That's right. We're excited to have you with us because here on Good Advice Giver, we cover just about everything. Whether you're interested in sports, relationships, sex, money, finances, business, digital marketing, music, education, movies, comedy, or something else entirely, we've got it all. No topic is off limits here, and we dive deep into real, meaningful conversations that matter.
We've also got a mix of male and female hosts, so you're always getting a well-rounded perspective on every topic we cover, from business strategies to personal development, from car shopping to digital products like affiliate marketing. We bring a little bit of everything to the table. Our goal is to offer advice, insights, and some laughs along the way to make sure you feel welcome and engaged, no matter what brought you here.
And it doesn't stop there. We're not just about giving great advice, we're about action. On this podcast, we even sell products and services we believe in, from affiliate marketing opportunities to cars and more. So whether you're looking to boost your business or find practical ways to improve your everyday life, you're in the right place.
As always, we want you to stay connected with us. Be sure to download this episode so you can listen anytime, anywhere, whether you're commuting, working out, or just relaxing. And while you're at it, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. That's the best way to stay in the loop for upcoming episodes, behind-the-scenes content, and even giveaways.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're posting extra content there, including video podcasts and deep dive discussions you won't want to miss. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what topics you want to hear more about.
Lastly, check out the link below in the description for exclusive offers, resources, and more ways to connect with us. We're here for you, and we can't wait to bring you more valuable content. Thanks again for tuning in to Good Advice Giver. Let's get started.
Because resurrection isn't just a moment. It's a mindset, a way of life. And truth be told, in today's world, we need that resurrection mindset more than ever. People are hurting, lonely, overwhelmed, anxious, and they need more than candy and bunny ears. They need real hope.
That's true. And real hope doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers, keep going. Sometimes it's in a scripture that jumps out at you. Sometimes it's in a song that hits different. Sometimes it's in that quiet moment in prayer when you realize you're still here and you're not alone.
That's so good. And for anyone listening right now who's been in a Saturday season, stuck between death and breakthrough, between what was and what's coming, I want you to know, God is not done with you. The silence doesn't mean He's absent. He's working behind the stone. Always.
Come on now. I needed that reminder too. Sometimes we think if we don't feel goosebumps or see fireworks, then nothing's happening. But faith doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it's just showing up to your life, to your purpose, to the call on your life, even when it feels slow.
Right. And that's why Easter is so grounding. Because it says, look at Jesus. Even when it looked like it was over. It wasn't. Even when the tomb was sealed, God was still in control. And that same power lives in us.
Romans 8 verse 11. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives in you. That verse gets me every time. It reminds me that I'm not powerless. That no matter what I face, depression, disappointment, doubt, I have resurrection power within me.
Amen. And that resurrection power doesn't just help us get back up. It helps us walk in purpose. Helps us forgive people who don't deserve it. Helps us love beyond logic. Helps us speak life when all we've known is pain.
You're speaking truth. And I think when we really let Easter sink in, we stop living reactive lives and start living resurrected lives. We stop letting the world shape our identity and start walking boldly in who God says we are.
That's the shift. And I believe it's what this generation is hungry for. Not religion, not rules, but resurrection. Something real. Something raw. Something that says, yes, I've been broken, but I'm still here. And that means I've still got purpose.
It's also a reminder that our scars don't disqualify us. Jesus still had scars when He rose. But those scars became His testimony, His proof. And maybe our healing will still carry the scars. But those scars can preach.
Phew, you better say that. 'Cause people think healing means erasing the past. But Easter shows us healing means transforming the pain. Redeeming the loss. Using what broke you to bless someone else.
Exactly. That's why I try to live in a way that reflects resurrection. Not by being perfect, but by being real. Being open about the times I fell. The seasons I didn't think I'd make it. Because that's how people connect. That's how people see Jesus in us.
And that's how we carry Easter forward. Not just by wearing white on Sunday or reposting scripture, but by embodying resurrection. By choosing joy. Choosing grace. Choosing faith even when fear's louder.
That's it right there. Living like the tomb is still empty.
That might be the best definition of faith I've heard in a while.
You know, as I sit with everything we talked about, the cross, the empty tomb, the traditions, the hope, I realize Easter isn't something we just celebrate. It's something we live. And when I say that, I don't mean just in church once a year or dressing up or even singing the songs that come with the season. I mean Easter is this quiet revolution that starts in your soul. A movement from death to life, from fear to faith, from shame to grace. It's waking up every day and choosing to walk like the stone has been rolled away, like your Savior's alive, and so are you. Because I'll be honest, I didn't always get it. I didn't always feel the weight of the resurrection. I grew up in church. I heard the story so many times it started to feel like background noise. I knew the timeline. Jesus betrayed on Thursday, crucified on Friday, rose on Sunday. We'd say he got up, and everybody would clap and shout. But the truth is, I was going through life feeling more like Saturday. You know what I mean? That in-between space. Not dead, but not alive either. Not broken, but not whole. Smiling, but empty inside. And I think a lot of people feel that way. Maybe you do. You're going through motions, showing up, doing your best, but deep down you're wondering, is this all there is? You feel like something's missing. Something sacred. Something powerful. That's what Easter brings back. It reminds us that Jesus didn't just die to save us from something. He died to save us for something. Easter says, you don't have to stay in that grave. It says you can get back up, not just because you're strong, but because he is. And when he rose, he took your chains with him, your guilt, your past, your doubt, your fear. It's all buried. And what came out of that tomb is not just Jesus. It's your future. That's what hit me hard one Easter morning a few years ago. I was sitting in church, hands in my lap, not really present. Life had hit me hard that year. Lost someone I loved. Lost a job. Felt like I lost a part of myself, honestly. And the preacher said, you're not too dead for God to resurrect. And that line broke something open in me, because I felt dead inside. Like the dreams I once had, buried. The joy I used to carry, gone. The peace I prayed for, just silence. But that morning, something shifted. I heard God say, I'm not done. And it wasn't loud or fancy. It was gentle, but it was real. And that's the power of Easter. It doesn't always come in lightning bolts. Sometimes it comes in a whisper that says, there's more. And that more, that's what I live for now. That's what wakes me up in the morning. Not just the grind, not just the bills, not just the hustle, but the calling, the reminder that I'm part of a bigger story. That resurrection power lives in me, and it pushes me to love harder, to forgive faster, to serve deeper. Because Jesus didn't just rise to save us. He rose to send us. He said, go tell the world. Go make disciples. Go love the broken. Go be the hands and feet. And you don't have to be a preacher or pastor to do it. You just have to be willing to rise each day and say, here I am, Lord. Use me. You see, resurrection isn't a one-day event. It's a lifestyle. It's waking up every time life knocks you down. It's choosing hope when anxiety tells you to shut down. It's choosing peace when the world gives you every reason to panic. It's remembering that you are not your past, that Jesus paid for all of it, and that payment cleared. And maybe that's the part people struggle with. Forgiveness, forgiving others, forgiving themselves. But if Easter teaches us anything, it's that grace isn't earned, it's given. And it's not about what we've done, it's about what he did. His blood paid the price. His body bore the weight. And his resurrection opened the door to freedom. So if you're listening right now and you've been walking through life with shame heavy on your back, Easter says you can lay it down. You are not your worst decision. You are not your darkest night. You are not what they said about you. You are what God says about you. Redeemed, restored, beloved, chosen. That's not just poetry. That's power. And it's personal for me. Because I know what it's like to question your worth. I know what it's like to feel forgotten. But the tomb proves otherwise. It says you matter so much that God himself stepped into your pain, took your place, and gave you a new name. And now, when heaven sees you, it doesn't see your sin, it sees a son. That's the gospel. That's the good news. That's Easter. It changes the way you think, the way you talk, the way you walk. And more than anything, it changes the way you love. Because Jesus didn't die just for perfect people. He died for the broken, the confused, the lost, the liar, the doubter, the addict, the outcast, the tired mom, the overworked dad, the lonely teen, the overwhelmed college student, the anxious entrepreneur, the silent sufferer. He died for us. And if that's true, how can we not live like it? How can we not love people with that same radical compassion? How can we not get up each morning and say, "Thank you for another chance. Now let me use it to make someone else's day brighter"? I guess what I'm saying is this: Easter changed everything. And I don't just mean back then, I mean right now. It's still changing lives, still changing hearts, still calling dead things back to life, still whispering, "There's more for you." So wherever you are right now, in your car, in your kitchen, on a walk, or lie in bed, I want you to hear this. You are loved. You are seen. And no matter how far you've fallen, or how long you've been stuck, resurrection is still possible. Because he lives, you can face tomorrow. Because he lives, fear has to bow. Because he lives, grace wins. Every time. This Easter, I'm not just celebrating a story. I'm living it. And I hope you will too.
If I had to sum up Easter in one word, it would be invitation. Not just an event, not just a celebration, but a divine, open invitation to rise again. And I think that's something we all need more than we admit. Permission, no power, to rise from what tried to bury us. To rise from the loss, from the loneliness, from the guilt, from the seasons where we cried ourselves to sleep, and the ones where we forgot how to dream at all. Easter to me is God's way of saying, it's not too late. And I don't say that lightly, because I've had seasons where I thought it was too late, where I felt like I had missed my chance or my calling or my moment, where I thought I'd never feel joy again. I'd smile in front of people but inside felt hollow, like a shell of the woman I used to be, like my spark was gone, and I was just existing. But Easter doesn't just tell us that Jesus got up, it tells us we can too. That's what shifted everything for me. It wasn't just knowing that Jesus rose. It was realizing why he rose. For me, for you, for us. He didn't rise to impress anybody. He rose to redeem everybody. He rose to silence shame, to shatter fear, to break generational curses, to restore dignity, to bring light to the darkest places. And when I understood that, when I really let it sink into my bones, it changed the way I saw everything. Changed how I walked through heartbreak, how I handled rejection, how I carried myself, even when the world tried to shrink me. Because resurrection doesn't mean everything goes back to the way it was. It means everything becomes something new. It's not restoration to your past. It's elevation into your purpose. And the thing is, I know so many people who feel like they're stuck in a tomb. Not a literal one, but a mental one. An emotional one. A relationship that's draining them. A cycle they can't seem to break. A shame they just can't shake. A silence they don't know how to speak through. If that's you, I want you to know something. The stone is already rolled away. You don't have to fight your way out. You don't have to earn your freedom. Jesus already did that. All you have to do now is walk in it. That's the hardest part, isn't it? We say we believe in resurrection, but we still live like we're in the grave. We still hold on to the version of ourselves that died in disappointment. We still rehearse old conversations. We still carry the weight of old mistakes. We still wonder if we're too broken to be used. But Easter says, no, you are never too far. You are never too lost. You are never too late. Jesus didn't rise so we could live small. He didn't defeat death so we could live in fear. He rose so we could live free. And I think that's the journey I've been on, learning to walk like I'm free. It's not perfect. It's not linear. But it's real. And every day, I get better at recognizing the voice of God over the voice of guilt. I get better at choosing rest instead of rushing. Choosing faith over fear. At choosing joy, not the fake kind but the deep, unshakable kind, the kind that says, even if I cry tonight, I will rise in the morning. And that's Easter. It's not about ignoring the pain. It's about believing in the promise. It's about standing on the truth that no matter what the world throws at you, God's grace is always stronger. And His love. It's not this fragile, fleeting feeling. It's fierce. It's faithful. It's forever. It meets you in your shame and wraps you in mercy. It walks into your tomb and says, get up, daughter. And maybe that's the part that gets me every year. the tenderness of it all. How Jesus, even in his glorified, resurrected body, still took time to see people, to speak to Mary by name, to comfort Thomas in his doubt, to restore Peter after his failure. That's love. Not conditional, not convenient, not cold, kind, consistent, the kind of love that goes back for the one, that stays behind for the wounded, that whispers, I still choose you. And when you know you're loved like that, you stop striving, you stop settling, you stop shrinking to fit into places God never told you to stay. Easter frees you, not just from sin but from shame, not just from death but from discouragement, from living in survival mode. It says, you don't have to fight for your identity anymore. It's already finished. Jesus didn't come back with vengeance. He came back with victory. And he handed that victory to you. So I don't know what your tomb looks like today. Maybe it's grief. Maybe it's insecurity. Maybe it's an old label that someone slapped on you and you started to believe. But hear me, that's not who you are anymore. Because Easter isn't just something that happened. It's something that happens. It happens when the addict finally puts down the bottle. It happens when the couple decides to forgive and start again. It happens when the woman who thought she wasn't enough realizes she was chosen all along. It happens when we finally stop running and come back to the one who's been waiting with arms wide open. That's the invitation of Easter, not just to believe, but to become who you were always meant to be, whole, holy, and healed. And it doesn't matter how many times you've failed or how long you've been silent. It doesn't matter what your resume says or what your family did. The tomb is empty. Anything is possible. That's what I want to carry with me this year. Not just the emotion of Easter Sunday. Not just the high of the music or the message. But the quiet, burning truth. That because he lives, can live too. Fully, freely, faithfully. That I don't have to hide anymore. I don't have to pretend. Can rise. Can love. Can try again, 'cause the stone is gone, the grave is empty, and my story is not over. So wherever this finds you, whether you're on the mountain or deep in the valley, I want you to hear this. You're not alone. You're not forgotten. You're not disqualified. You are chosen. You are forgiven. You are called. And you've got resurrection power running through your veins. So rise, woman of God. Speak life. Break the silence. Be bold with your love and loud with your light. The world needs your voice, your story, your fire. And Easter. Easter is your reminder that the best is not behind you. It's just beginning. He is risen. And so are you.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.